Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today and thank you for your support. Today I get to talk about one of my favorite living stereo albums of all time, and that is the Royal Ballet Gala Performances by Ernest Ansermet and not the Orchestra de la Suisse Romande, but the Royal Opera House Orchestra of Covent Garden. I often want to say the Orchestra de la Suisse Romande immediately after I say Ansermet, and I kept making that mistake over and over while I was trying to do this video. So yeah, no, this was done by Decca for RCA using the Royal Opera House Orchestra of Covent Garden. They employed Decca's best engineer to do this record. So Kenneth Wilkinson did the engineering for this. It was also recorded in London's best hall, which was Kingsway Hall. And all that adds up to a superb record. And RCA must have thought so too, because they decided to produce it in their Soria series box set. So it looked like this. This is not it. The originals of this album go for thousands of dollars, at least $1,000 for a stereo copy. I once had a mono original of this in the box. I found it in a thrift shop. I knew about it from the Absolute Sound and so forth, and I was like, oh my God, the Royal Ballet Gala, wow, I got it. And I got it home and I realized it was mono. And this record really demands to be heard in stereo. Let's face it. It is Kingsway Hall. It is a wide open sound stage. You want to hear all that separation and beauty that Kenneth put into this beautiful stereo recording. But the mono is pretty cool to have. It's cool to have an original at all. But I ended up selling it off for a pretty decent price, and I no longer have it. I do have RCA's own reissue of it, and I guess probably not many people know about this, but in the Victrola series there was a reissue, and this is what it looks like. Unfortunately, it's only one disc of the 2-disc set, so it collects the Nutcracker, Carnival, Coppelia, and Giselle, and it's on the Plum label Victrola. So this is an Indianapolis Plum label 4S pressing. It sounds great. Again, though, it's the mono. So yeah, so it's a mono. It does exist in a stereo edition, and this is a good gateway into this album if you cannot afford to get one of these other pressings. And obviously, the original is thousands. This alone, this classic replica, is $1,200. So we really needed an affordable edition of this album, and one has come along. I'm going to talk about the classic edition. I'm going to talk about the classic 45s. I have a test pressing, I have a clarity pressing, and I have the Analogue Productions 2x45. So stay tuned for that. I'll get to all that right after this message. The classic 33 replicates the original Soria box set. Linen slipcase, really linen. An inset artwork here, gold embossing here, dowel spine, like a leather covered dowel spine. And this is what it looks like inside. I really don't want to handle this too much because it is so expensive. It has become a collectible rather than a play copy. But I'm going to tell you a little story about this and how it leads into the next thing I'm going to show you. When this came out, when this was announced, I knew I had to have a copy. These were about $100 when they came out. Classic offered a deal. If you bought 5 copies of the Royal Ballet Gala, you would get a free 45 RPM test pressing box from RTI of the entire set. So 9 single-sided records. I was, and the official 45 was not out yet, and no one knew if it was going to come out. So I was like, I have to have that 45. I have to have that 45. And I had more money than sense. And I bought 5 copies of this. I said to myself, well, I'll just sell off the extras, you know, and I sold them for a little bit more than they were worth, not much. Pretty much immediately I sold them. And that was a big mistake. Obviously, this is now 1,200, a sealed copy, who knows? So, yeah, those are gone, but I did get my test pressing box. So this is what that looks like. It's a beautiful box set. No, actually, it's very boring. It's boring. Plain old white box that's getting yellowed a little bit. You know what? I'm going to move this for now. Get this out of the way. So this is the test pressing box. It's not much to look at. Plain box with a RTI test pressing sticker, LSC 606545. It has 9 single-sided 180 gram discs in plain white jackets with a date and a pressing number for each one. And the date, it's funny, the dates are scattered over the years. Some are 94 and some are 96. And plain labels too. No artwork, no nothing. But I was really glad to get this. And it was my play copy for years because I didn't want to really touch the classic 33 anymore. And this is wonderful. It does sound great. I like the 45 in terms of sound quality. It is a step up a bit. Both of these are mastered by Bernie Grunman, by the way. Yet 45s are, in this case, flipping 9 times is a pain in the neck for this music. And I don't think 45 is the way to go for the Royal Ballet Gala. I just don't. Especially in these cumbersome box sets like this. But I wasn't finished. I'm such a sucker. I saw this when Clarity vinyl came around. This was re-released with this beautiful black box, gold stamp. It looks so much better than my test pressing box. And this time it came with a jacket like this. Didn't come with a booklet though. The booklet cover is just reproduced here. But again, it's on 9 discs, single-sided discs, on the grayish original Clarity vinyl that looks like this. And the backside, I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to get a reflection here. It's etched. Yeah, it says Classic Records. That's really hard to see. It's etched Classic Records, and it has a speed stroboscope, so you can double check your speed, and you can be reminded, do not put this side on because your needle is going to drag through the etching, and that's not good. This retains all the sonic characteristics of the test pressing. I was not really a big fan of Clarity vinyl though, at this point. Still am not really, but the Clarity vinyl on this set, it's quiet, but it has a little fine grain to it, really fine, almost like when you're looking at a beautiful black and white photograph and it's so sharp and clear, but when you really go up to it, you see the fine grain. It's kind of like that. Still sounds wonderful, and I'm glad to have it, but I never play it because 45 is just not my thing with this particular album. I think it breaks it up too much. It's already chunks of ballet music, so cutting them in half again is a little detrimental to the flow of the album. And that's why this is such a welcome thing. not only is it relatively affordable, but it's at 33. So this is Analogue Productions 33 edition. It's done in a gatefold, which is very, very nice. It's nice, thick, heavy, Stoughton gatefold, very glossy, as you can see. Good reproduction and nice crackle. The booklet is glued in, so it looks like that. And really wonderful. It's much heavier than the classic booklet. The labels look beautiful, shaded dog labels. The pressings by QRP are excellent. And the sound quality, it's from the same plates as the classic 33. So finally, I have my play copy. Really, there is no option for this album. It's a little more expensive than a typical Analogue Productions 2x45. It's 80 rather than 60. But in this case, with the booklet done so well, I think it's okay. To obtain any copy of this album for less than $100 is kind of a bargain. And to have it pressed so well, I mean, the pressing is the best of all of these. It's the quietest. It's really beautifully centered, beautifully done. There's nothing to complain about with this. People will love it. If you've never heard the Royal Ballet Gala, you'll be shocked at how well this orchestral music is recorded. Kingsway Hall is a beautiful hall to record music in because it's so wide and so deep. It gives a wonderful panorama of sound, and each instrument can be picked out, or instrumental section can be picked out clearly with plenty of space and air and a nice deep bass floor. It's great. My particular favorite things on this are hearing the plucked strings and the harp, which is used quite a bit throughout these ballet pieces. The Nutcracker opens this, and this is a nice time to listen to that because it does have a little bit of a holiday appeal, and you'll never hear it recorded better than you do here. It's just amazing how well Kenneth Wilkinson captured the sound of both the orchestra and the hall. This is one of those where you really get a sense of the hall, and that's what makes it legendary. It got a 10++ from Jonathan Vallon in his book. Anthony over at Audiophilia gave it top marks as well. Please check out his channel. He can describe the music and the conducting in much more detail than me because he is a professional musician and conductor. He did a review of this long ago, and I guess Chad liked the copy so much he snatched it for his advertising for his editions of this. So that's quite an honor. So that's good for Anthony. But do check out Anthony's channel, a really, really nice resource for classical music as well. I love this album. I think it's a beauty. It's really, really lovely sound, excellent performances, and the pressing is great. I can't say much more about it than if you don't have this in your collection to consider getting this. Now, there is a 45 edition by Chad, and to his credit, he's condensed it. It's no longer on single-sided discs. It's, I think, 5 discs. So it's a little more compact. It still requires flipping the record 9 times, and the side breaks are the same. So apparently it comes in a beautiful box. I'm not sure if it's available right now. I looked at some reviews of the 45, and people are raving about the 45 as well. So if 45 is your thing, you may consider either getting it, or if it's not in print at the moment, waiting for it to be repressed, because apparently it comes in a beautiful box and you get all the benefits of 45 and some of the drawbacks. But at any rate, any way you want, you need to hear this album. It's really, really beautiful. And I'm so grateful that Analogue Productions put out an affordable version of this finally. So until next time, I'm Scott from The Pressing Matters. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.